Not the
Yeah,
one.
yeah, I know.
Langston.
But that's fair. I saw your wall. I'm just gonna respond to him so he doesn't think I'm.
Yes, sir. I'm here. I'm
Yeah,
here.
let me ask you, are you still in the courthouse?
I'm on a road driving as we speak. Y'all need me?
Okay,
I mean, and I
well,
saw your email.
well, that's all right. We'll get somebody else.
I've seen the email.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
okay, no problem. No, I sent everybody. I
I
sent
know, I
everybody
know.
y'all.
Yeah, we know. We just wonder if you're still by. Okay, all right, thanks.
All right,
We'll be starting with you in a little bit.
all right, all right.
All right, bye. Okay, here we go. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is now in session. The court is in session with its jail review docket. First case on the docket is cause number M334262, case of style of state of Texas versus Ann Beckham Williamson. Ms. Williamson, is that your full name? Ms. Williamson, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes.
Ms. Williamson, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Williamson?
Mhm.
That's good. Ms. Williamson, you're represented in your case by your attorney Langston Adams. Now, Attorney Adams is appearing via Zoom, and I have before me a document that is titled Joint Request for Plea and/or Sentencing by Video Conference under Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 27.18. Do you recognize this document?
Is that where I signed last night?
Yes. Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Now, before you sign this document, did your attorney go over this document with you?
Yes,
And did you understand everything in this document? And is everything in this document true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Okay, so Mr. Adams, how are you doing?
Doing well.
And Mr. Adams, do you waive a record in Ms. Williamson's case?
Yes, I do.
And the state is represented in this case by Attorney Haley Simmons. Attorney Simmons, how are you doing?
I'm good, Judge, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Ms. Williamson, I have before me a motion to revoke your unadjudicated probation. In this motion that was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office, it alleges that you, Ann Beckham Williamson, was tried in County Court at Law number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, on October 2nd of 2023 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 3, less than 28 grams. The court found that the evidence was sufficient beyond a reasonable doubt to support a finding of guilt for the above mentioned offense. However, the court deferred adjudication of guilt and placed you on unadjudicated probation for a period of 1 year. In this motion, there are 8 allegations. State, are you abandoning allegations 1, 3, 4, 6, and 8?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Williamson, the state is abandoning allegations 1, 3, 4, 6, and 8. They will be proceeding on allegations 2, 5, and 7. Allegation 2 alleges that you, Ann Beckham Williamson, failed to report to Jefferson County Probation Office as ordered by the court for the months of December 2023 as directed in violation of condition 4 of your probation order. Is that true or not true?
true.
Allegation number 5 alleges that you, Ann Beckham Williamson, failed to immediately report to the probation officer your arrest as ordered by the court in violation of condition 13 of your probation order. Is that true or not true? True. And allegation number 7 alleges that you, Ann Beckham Williamson, failed to perform community service hours as required by the court in violation of condition 17 of your probation order. Is that true or not true?
True.
Okay. Ms. Williamson, are you pleading true to allegations 2, 5, and 7 freely and voluntarily?
Yes,
And are you pleading true because they are true?
yes,
Okay. Ms. Williamson, I also have before me on my tablet a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. It is also labeled as State's Exhibit number 1. Do you recognize this document?
right. That signed last night, 14.
Yeah, that you signed last night.
Might have been this morning after midnight.
Yeah,
Yes.
so you recognize it?
Yes.
Okay. Let's do this. And on page 2 of this document, there are a set of initials, MTRP, which means motion to revoke probation, true to allegations 2, 5, and 7. Did you place your initials next to this statement? Okay, could you show this to? Are those your initials next to the statement MTRP at the bottom of that document?
Is this from this morning?
Oh, go back to page 1.
Ma'am, I reviewed all that with you last night. It's same stuff we talked about. You acting like you don't remember.
Yeah, I did, I just.
Okay,
Making
now,
sure we
now
got-
go to page, those are your initials on page 2, is that correct? On page 3, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is that your signature? Okay.
Yeah.
The next document is titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal.
Mhm.
Do you recognize that document?
Yes,
Now, is that your signature at the bottom of that document, below the line, above the line that's titled defendant?
yes, sir.
At the top of that document, there's one box that's checked. The box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, Ms. Williamson. Yeah, we don't need the discovery, sir.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'll wait for that. MTRP.
MTRP. Now, Ms. Williams, before you sign and initial all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand everything that she went over? I mean, that he went over?
Yes,
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
yes,
Ms. Williams, are you a citizen of the United States?
yes,
State upper stage board.
Any objections to state's exhibit number 1?
No,
No objections, state's exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Adams, you've advised and counseled Ms. Williamson. Is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
none.
And Ms. Williamson, your attorney, Mr. Adams, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
yes,
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
yes, sir.
Ms. Williamson, I will accept your plea true to allegations 2, 5, and 7. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to revoke your unadjudicated probation, and your probation is hereby revoked. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea of true, the state's offering 80 days, and that's to tax and retire all court costs.
Okay. Ms. Williamson, the state is offering that you serve 80 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail because you've already served 80 days in Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for the time that you've already served. The court costs in this case will be taxed and retired. That simply means that you will not be required to pay the court costs because the time that you have spent in jail has already paid off the court costs. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Ms. Williamson, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes,
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yeah.
And do you accept the state's offer?
yes, sir.
Ms. Williamson, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Ms. Williamson, if you do not have anything else holding you in jail on this case, you'll be let out of jail. Please stand next to the bailiff and follow his directions. Once you finish following his directions, you can follow him, and you have a blessed day. You're welcome. Is that Felicia?
If it's the same complaint, then it's though.
I approached her.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I talked to How long has she been?
Nicest thing you've ever said to me.
Well, the.
This is cause number 24 CCCR 1932. Case is style, the state of Texas. Hold on a minute. Let's see. This, the case is style, the state of Texas versus Jonathan Allworth Pellissier.
Pellissier,
That's how it's pronounced?
Pellissier.
Pellissier. Okay. Mr. Pellissier, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Pellissier?
I'm okay.
That's
Yeah,
good.
maybe.
That's good. Now, Mr. Pellissier, you're represented in your case by your attorney Langston Adams. Attorney Adams is appearing via Zoom. And Mr. Adams, I have before me a document that is titled Joint Request for a Plea and/or Sentencing by video conference under the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 27.18. And Mr. Pellissier, you recognize this document?
That is my signature.
And is this your signature? Now, before you sign this document, did your attorney go over this document with you?
He did.
And did you understand everything that your attorney went over? And is everything in this document true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Adams, do you waive a record in Mr. Pellissier's case?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Pellissier, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Jonathan Allworth Pellissier, on or about July 1st of 2024, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of criminal trespass. Mr. Pellissier, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Pellissier, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes.
Mr. Pellissier, I also have before me a document that is on this tablet that's titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
I believe so.
Okay. On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials on a line next to a box that's checked nulli contingent, and you place your initials on this document. On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Is this your signature? And on the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? At the top of this document, there's one box that's checked. The box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? I have another document that's titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
I do.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
This is my signature.
Okay. Mr. Pellissier, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
He did.
And did you read and understand everything that your attorney went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge.
I believe so.
Mr. Pelletier, are you a citizen of the United States?
I am.
State offer states one.
Any objections, Mr. Adams?
No objections, none.
No objections. States Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Adams, you advised and counsel Mr. Pelletier. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None.
And Mr. Pelletier, your attorney, Mr. Adams, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Pelletier, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement? And what is that agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea, the state's offering 8 days in Jefferson County Jail, credit for 8 days, and to tax and retire all court costs.
Mr. Pelletier, the state is offering that you serve 8 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you would not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you've already served 8 days in the Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for the time that you have already served. The court costs in this case will be taxed and retired. That simply means that you would not be required to pay the court costs because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Mr. Pelletier, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
I do.
Mr. Pelletier, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Pelletier, if you do not have anything else holding you in jail, you should be getting out of jail today. Mr. Pelletier, this will conclude your case. Please stand next to the bailiff right over here. Mr. Pelletier, over here.
This bill.
Yes. And follow his direction. Once you finish following his direction, you can follow the bailiff and you have a blessed day. Gina Aldrich.
I think this one is an MTRP as well.
Yeah, that's the one that,
There we go.
it was contact, was that?
Chambers County got back to me quick yesterday.
Yeah.
It was really fast.
That's usually the field is open 24 hours.
Mhm.
Okay. Jefferson County Code, law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session in cause number M332830, case of Style of State of Texas versus Gina Catherine Aldrich. Ms. Aldrich, is that your full name?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Aldrich, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Aldrich, do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Aldrich, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Aldrich?
Fine, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Ms. Aldrich, I have before me a document that is titled Joint Request for Plea and or Sentencing by Video Conference under Texas Code of Procedure, Article 27.18. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir, I
And
do.
is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir, I do.
Now, before you signed this document, did your attorney go over this document with you?
Yes.
And did you understand everything in this document? Okay, now this document allows your attorney to appear via Zoom, and Mr. Adams is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Adams, do you waive a record in Ms. Aldrich's case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Aldrich, I have before me a document that is titled Motion to Revoke Probation. This motion to revoke probation was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this motion, it alleges that Gina Catherine Aldrich was tried on August 31st of 2023 for a Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more. You were found guilty and your punishment was assessed at 90 days confinement in Jefferson County Jail and fine of $552. That's fine and fees. And this confinement was probated for a period of 1 year. Ms. Aldridge, during the 1 year period, the state filed a motion alleging that you violated the conditions of your probation. There are 6 allegations in the motion to revoke probation. State, are you abandoning allegations 1, 2, and 4?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Aldridge, the state is abandoning allegations 1, 2, and 4. They will only be proceeding on allegations 3, 5, and 6. Allegation 3 alleges that you, Gina Catherine Aldridge, failed to abstain from the use or possession of drugs except those taken or possessed under doctor's orders as ordered by the court in that on or about September 15 of 2023 and October 11 of 2023, you, Gina Catherine Aldridge, provided a urine sample for a scientific analysis that showed the presence of the metabolic byproducts of tetrahydrocannabinol on September 15 of 2023 and on October 11 of 2023, tetrahydrocannabinol, methamphetamines, and alcohol on September 15 of 2023 in violation of condition 14 of the probation order. Is that true or not true?
That's true, Your Honor.
It's true. Allegation number 5 alleges that you failed to provide a proof of completion of the DW education class as ordered by the court in violation of condition C of your probation order. Is that true or not true? And allegation number 6 alleges that you failed to provide proof of enrollment into an intensive outpatient treatment program as ordered by the court in violation of condition D of your probation order. Is that true or not true?
That's true.
Ms. Aldridge, are you pleading true to allegations allegations 3, 5, and 6 freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading true because they are true? Ms. Aldridge, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. This document is also labeled as State's Exhibit number 1. Do you recognize this document? Okay, on page 2 of this document, there are a set of initials on a line next to a line that's checked MTRP, which means motion to revoke probation, true to allegations 3, 5, and 6. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature? And on the next document that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? At the top of this document is one box that's checked. The box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
I also have, now, Ms. Aldridge, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything that he went over?
Yes,
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
yes, sir.
Ms. Aldridge, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State offers state's law.
State is offering State's Exhibit number 1. Mr. Adams, do you have any objections?
No objection.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 is admitted. Mr. Adams, you've advised in counsel, Ms. Aldridge, is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial.
None.
Okay. Ms. Aldridge, your attorney, Ms. Adams, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes,
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Mr. Aldridge, I will accept your plea of truth to allegations 3, 5, and 7. 5, 3, 5, and 6. Let me repeat that. Ms. Aldrich, I will accept your plea of truth to allegation 3, 5, and 6. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there's sufficient evidence to revoke your probation, and your probation is hereby revoked. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is the agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea of truth, the state's offering 45 days in the Jefferson County Jail with credit to 10.
Okay, now, Ms. Aldrich, the state is offering that you serve 45 days in Jefferson County Jail. They say credit for 10, but you should get credit for any time that you're entitled to get by law.
yes,
It's my understanding that you have served, maybe served some time in Kendall County.
yes, sir, I did.
Okay, that, I guess that has to be verified, but you are by law entitled to get all the time that you're entitled to get by law.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so, do you understand the state's offer?
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Do the 3 days that I served whenever I was arrested originally for the DWI and March count towards my time
Yes,
served?
that's all the time that you're entitled to get by law. You have that time,
The 3 and then.
plus the time that you
Seven.
here, plus if you had time, they had a whole, in Kendall County, you should get that time too.
Oh,
I don't know what it is.
3, 7, and
The
10,
state has
20.
to, not the state. The jail will calculate your jail time,
Okay,
okay?
all right.
Okay, so we'll have to leave that, I guess leave it blank, because they're gonna have to figure out what the jail time is. Unless we get it before, unless we get word from Kendall County before, they send it back. Okay,
I'm gonna try and call them again, Judge.
okay, so you're gonna get all the time that you're entitled to get,
Thank you, sir.
all right? And, should we have her to, just have a seat? Okay, now, Mr. Adams, I think this is your last case.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you free to go, and you have a blessed day. Yeah, just have a seat out here.
They not ready.
That document that's filled out, that's Jefferson County Affidavit of Indigence, is that your signature? I mean, look at that document. On the, is everything on that document still true and correct? They found that you were indigent.
I'm homeless and unemployed at this point. sir.
Okay, so this court is
Yeah.
gonna find that you're indigent And so based on that, the court cost in this case is gonna be taxed and retired. Okay, well, yeah, well, it's gonna be waived pursuant to Article 42.15 of Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. Okay. So the court cost is waived. All right,
Thank you, Your Honor.
you up. We have anybody else ready? They went out. Oh,
Wanna go get him?
no, well, no. This is cause number 23CCCR 088. Excuse me, let me try that again. Cause number 23CCCR 0988. Case is style of the state of Texas versus Abdiel Reyes Jr. Mr. Reyes, is that your full name? Mr. Reyes, would you please raise your right hand Mr. Reyes, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay, Mr. Reyes, you may put your hand down. How are you doing? You doing okay? That's good. Mr. Reyes, you're represented in this case by your attorney Joseph DeFazio. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. DeFazio, how are you doing?
All right, how are you, Your Honor?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. DeFazio, do you waive a record in Mr. Reyes' case?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Reyes, I have before me a document that is titled Information Sheet. In this information sheet that was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office, it alleges that you, Abdiel Reyes Jr., on or about March 5th of 2023, while you were operating a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. Second, this information further alleges that prior to the commission of this offense, that on June 3rd of 2013, in cause number 2013 CR 0096 in the County Court at Law number 1 of Calhoun County, Texas, that you were convicted of the offense relating to the operating of a motor vehicle while intoxicated. Mr. Reyes, is that true?
Sure.
Now, to this offense of driving while intoxicated, second, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Guilty. Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Reyes, I also have before me a document on this tablet that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments, also labeled as State's Exhibit number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials that are on a line next to a box that says check guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
On page 3 of the same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, Your Honor.
And on the next document that's titled trial court certification for defendant's right of appeal, you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled
Yeah.
defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have a document on paper that is titled discovery certification. You recognize this document? Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, Your
Mr. Reyes, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you read and understand everything that your attorney went over?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Reyes, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, Your Honor.
Stay up for 6-1.
Any
No
objections?
objection, Your Honor.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. DeFazio, you've advised and counseled Mr. Reyes. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Reyes, your attorney, Mr. DeFazio, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. DeFazio, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
For defendant's plea of guilty, the state is offered 180 days probated over 15 months with a $1,500 fine, 60 hours community service, the installation and maintaining of an interlock device on any vehicle that he owns or operates, and DWI second steering conditions, including mandatory 72 hours, which he will be turning himself in today at docket 4.
On the paperwork, what does it have as a terms and condition in terms of, is it the DWI education or DWI intervention? Which is standard intervention, okay. Okay. What is this core cost?
392.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Mr. Reyes, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, this 180 days will be, you will not have to serve this 180 days because you'll be on probation for 15 months. When the 15-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $1,500. You'll also be required to pay a DWI conviction fine of $100. You'll be required to pay court costs of $392. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, your analysis fee of $15 a month, and a reimbursement fee of $15. You'll also be required to pay Jefferson County DWI initial evaluation fee of $125 on the date of pay should a further evaluation be needed. You'll be required to pay an additional $50. Now, your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you are on probation, is $224 a month. Will you be able to pay the $224 each month?
Yes, Your Honor, I have a question. If you could pay more, you could give more towards
Yeah.
students, or,
Yeah, you can pay more.
yes, sir.
And you'll also be required to perform 60 hours of community service, install an interlock device on any vehicle that you own and operate, attend and complete the DWI intervention class, have an alcohol assessment. You have to serve 72 hours in Jefferson County Jail starting today at or before 6 p.m. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you'll also adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of DWI probation. Now, Mr. Reyes, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Reyes, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Reyes, you're gonna stand next to the bailiff, follow his directions.
That's for her.
Yeah, now, let me actually say, he's gonna be turning himself in at the
Yes,
jail.
yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Once you follow his directions, you're free to go, and you turn yourself in at or before 6 p.m. today at the Jefferson County Jail.
in that first year of there.
And Mr. DeFazio,
Yes,
you free to go? And
Thank
you have a
you.
blessed day.
thank you.
You're welcome.
This is, but he's